Welcome back to Advance Wars 2 Reboot Camp, and I'm gonna go silent because the Green Earth theme is amazing.
Woo.
So, you're finally ready to launch a counteroffensive? Looks like you'll need me to lend a hand.
Jess, you're back!
Yes, I am.
Well, I mean, Eagle has lightning drive, so he is still pretty good at ground wars.
What?
Stow it, Eagle.
I mean, you know, bad move's kind of an understatement when an invading force occupies most of your country.
Commander.
Ha-ha!
The Green Earth Trinity is now complete. We have land, sea, and sky covered. But still, just the Green Earth theme just shows just how dire things are getting. And it gets even better once we get to the Green Earth Mission Select theme. But okay, we've got Sea Fortress, Sinking Feeling, and Drake's Dilemma. Now, I usually go for Sea Fortress first because it's Eagle and he's my favorite character. But I've made a habit of showing the new CO first, and that means I have to do Sinking Feeling first, which is a map that is often considered the hardest one here, as you can see by its difficulty level. Also, this is where the lab map is. Any battleships are in for repairs. Can they be sunk before it happens?
Commander Lash!
So, one thing that I should mention is, we're going from the kind of climax of, like, the Lash villain arc to the last time we fight Lash in the campaign.
Oh.
Yeah, the general theme is that every set of 3 missions, 2 are against the nation's main opponent, and there's 1 that's an outlier.
Yeah. Commander Lash!
17 is still quite a lot. Oh, wow, okay, so this now hits a lot harder now that I'm more aware of crunch culture and how brutal it is. I wonder if it was an intentional commentary on that kind of thing. So we've got a time limit here to deal with. And yes, the lab map is here, but oh boy, oh, the lab map. You'll see. It's a little cut short by how fast the loading times are in this version, but I still love the Green Earth mission start theme.
New intel.
So few troops, we've got a pretty massive pre-deployed force, honestly.
Negative.
I mean, she has a point, given T-minus 15. And yeah, Jess is about to shower those battleships artillery fire. She has good anti-air to deal with those air units. Let's talk about her. Also, her theme is pretty great. And unfortunately, her giant pencil is much more obviously a tank shell now. The gallant tank-driving CO who fought her way to the top. While her ground vehicles are mighty, she suffers outside her domain. Jess's ground vehicle units gain plus 10 to firepower, but her other units suffer minus 10 to firepower. And this includes foot soldiers. So Jess is in a bit of a weird spot. Her kind of theme is being max, except with good indirects, and that's generally quite a powerful thing. And normally a 10% penalty on air and naval units wouldn't be that bad, because naval units kind of suck, and air units, like, her battlecopters are fine, even with minus 10% firepower. The problem is that 10% firepower penalty to foot soldiers. That is actually very, very bad in multiplayer games, and really sets her back a lot. And it's not entirely worth it when you only get a 10% boost on vehicles. Now, Dual Strike fixed this and also boosted her firepower on vehicles, and Jess instantly went from mediocre to one of the most broken COs in the game. Yes, that's all it took. So, maybe, I don't know, it's kind of hard to find how to balance somebody like Jess, really. Because being able to use indirects while also having good tanks is quite a big asset. And the other thing about Jess is, her CO powers are actually really good. Turbocharge. Jess's ground vehicles gain +1 to movement range and +20 to firepower. It also replenishes fuel and ammo, not just for vehicles, but for everything. This can be more helpful than you might think for air and naval units. And then Overdrive is the same, but literally twice as good, and costs twice as much. +2 to movement, and +40 to firepower. That basically makes Jess Advance Wars 1 Max, who also has grit level indirects, except range, and +2 movement. And for only a total meter of 6, Jess's CO powers are actually incredibly strong. They were always the best part about her, and so buffing her, like the rest of her, kind of pushed her over the edge in Dual Strike, but that's for later. So, anyway, we've got this map here to deal with. I had a feeling that on challenge mode they'd put a unit down here, but it's not really covering this base. So we've got a decent amount of forces coming at us from the start, but Jess has a pretty overwhelming number of tanks. We've got some Neo-tanks incoming too, however, we have our own macaroni rockets to deal with those. The main objective in this mission is, oh, that's interesting, there's 2 subs here on challenge mode already, but they're a little far away from the battleships. The main objective is to sink all 9 of these battleships within 17 days. And they're now guarded by rockets a little. And there's also a couple of mini cannons, which are more obstacles than actually like a real threat. There's the airport that Drake was talking about. Now, something about this is that if you let Lash get this base, it's possible that she might build an APC and use it to resupply these battleships. Them being in for repairs is represented by them having no ammo, but they can still be resupplied, which means they'll be able to shoot you. I have had that happen to me in one attempt of this, and it's kind of brutal. Also, your starting income is actually quite high, which means that once you capture this seaport right here, I should probably turn the capture animations back on, since we're in Green Earth now. Once you actually capture that, unfortunately my APCs are not in particularly excellent positions right now, but once you capture that, you can get naval units out. And speaking of getting naval units out, well, hey, this island out in the middle of nowhere seems to serve absolutely no purpose, right? They couldn't possibly put the lab map here, could they? Yep. So that's kind of how it works. You have to divert a lot of money into a lander in order to get the lab map here. Yeah, just trying to think what I do here, because this tank will be able to attack me from a city, but if it's the medium tank that it goes for first... Oh yeah, Jess's theme is so good, and I love what they did with it in this version. I don't think the anti-airs are a huge priority to get moving soon. The artillery and rockets, though, are really important, because you need those to take out the battleships. That and battleships of your own. Jess's own battleships are not even that bad, really. And you weirdly have the money for them on this map, because you start with 10,000 income, and can actually quite easily capture more. Despite Jess supposedly having a worse capture game than everyone else. I mean, Lash, you say that and you haven't played fair this whole time.
Stop saying that!
I will say, yeah, Lash's VA does a really great job, and yeah, she has the same voice actress as Marnie, which is kind of funny, because I feel like in the Black Hole 4 Hounds parallel, Lash is basically Marnie, and Ada is Gris. The other two don't have quite as obvious parallels, because, I mean, I guess Hawk is like Morvier, is the closest to Morvier, but then that makes Celestia Flak, and that's kind of dumb. Yeah, we've got those Neo tanks coming. Time is racing toward us till they arrive. And yeah, we are on a little bit of a time limit to stop her from reaching that base, because you don't want her to be getting APCs. I'm not even sure if the AI prioritizes that in this mission, but, like, it's entirely possible they could. Yeah, I suppose I should go for this. Yeah, so with Jess, you don't really need to worry too much about expending a lot of ammo. Yeah, Jess's animations are a little understated, but it kind of makes sense. She's definitely one of the more stoic and kind of level-headed ones. She's sort of Green Earth Sammy in that regard. Just gotta... The problem is that this medium tank is going to get first struck by the enemy medium tank if it goes forward like that. Yeah, maybe it's better if I send the little tanks in first. Not even really sure I need to, like, fully damage his anti-air, but, yeah. I like the way Green Earth tanks look. They're also another unit that I think would probably look decent in LEGO. And yeah, Lash's pouty face, that also reminds me a little bit of Marnie. I trust Lash to attack the medium tank rather than the regular tank, even though the regular tank will take more damage. I suppose we'll see. And yeah, you will be giving her power pretty quickly. Okay, just a little fist bump for the mech there. I kind of wonder how the infantry is going to be any different, but we shall see. And yeah, here, I guess even the artillery from Green Earth look like pasta now that I think about it. But okay, yeah, they're good. The rocket gets in here. Yeah, we can form a little bit of a defensive line around here to take out her Neo tanks, which we might need to. The problem is, if we do that, then there is a very good chance we're going to be running a little low on time when it comes to the repairs. Let's see how far you can get. Not all that far, really. Yeah, Jess's theme is... I know I've already said this a lot, but I do like Jess's theme. Now, I do need to leave one of my infantry units behind, because I need to put that in a lander eventually. And some people have said that it's generally better to go for a battleship first, rather than, because I often like to go for the lander straight away. You're in no real hurry, though, to get the lab map. As long as you get it eventually, it's good. The issue is that, I think she can sometimes make a push for that island. Getting that island does give you access to another port, which can be helpful. Oh boy, the Neo tanks are coming. Hooray, hooray. And yeah, now they're kind of in range of that base type area. That's not good. She face palms. Suppose that kind of makes sense with, again, her being one of the more level-headed ones. Okay, I'm reloading at day 3 because I've got this defensive perimeter established. However, one of the Neo tanks went south down here this time, which is actually a serious problem. I want to keep up my defensive line here and sort of lure the enemies into range of my indirects. And speaking of which, this first indirect will take this thing down. I'll have to check whether or not terrain tactics means that Neo tank will be able to reach. No, there's no terrain that slows treads in here. So as long as I pull this back, which I don't really want to, but I will probably have to, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, as long as I'm not on the bridge, I should be fine. I have this port now, and in fact, I think I can start getting battleships now. Go for that, and then... Yeah, I do need to go for the medium tank first, because my main goal is to have my medium tanks in here to act as the defense against the enemy Neo tanks, because the Neo tanks will almost certainly one-shot my regular tanks that are trying to hold choke points. And yeah, here go the macaroni rockets. You'll be seeing a lot of these when playing as Jess. Jess has pretty subtle facial expressions, but I do like them overall. Now, I do have my regular power right now. However, I think I'm going to avoid using that for the moment. Again, any regular tanks that are in these choke points are pretty much going to get one-shotted. But the medium tanks probably will not die to one hit from the Neo tanks, and that's really what I'm counting on, because I need to make sure that my Neo tanks get really, close to me so I can take them out with, Okay, Neo tank can go there, so I think I do need... Yes, I do need, medium tank up here. I don't want to. I want to make sure that none of my expensive units happen to be on beaches, because that would just, yeah, that would be really bad. Neo tanks kind of one-shot things that are on beaches usually. But if this Neo tank attacks me from a beach, that might be nice. Now, I've got defensive terrain there. This medium tank is a little weakened, though. I'm trying to think whether I leave a full health tank on the city, or whether I have the medium tank on the city. Yeah, it's entirely possible the medium tank may get one-shot if it's on the city, though, so... I think I will instead pull it back and trust the Neo tank not to one-shot the tank that's on the city. There's also this other Neo tank, but again, it can't actually come in from below just yet, and if it does, my rockets are ready to greet it. Well, on that note, these mechs can't really do a whole ton right now. And yeah, I think unfortunately... Okay, I can shuffle my anti-air forward a little bit, but I do need to save them. So in an earlier attempt at this, I did end up winning, but because I lost my anti-air early, I got a bad technique rating, because in the end, Lash got a whole bunch of air units that kind of played havoc on my forces. Okay, so here's the goal here. Medium tank needs to not die. Okay, that is fine. It's heavily damaged, but it means this Neo tank is gonna die. And now the other Neo tank... Okay, my other medium tank gets hit. This is kind of bad. But it means that she soon will have no healthy Neo tanks. And once you've dealt with this initial onslaught of enemies, you can... well, you can't quite rush up to the battleships unimpeded. But things do get a lot easier. So yeah, I prefer to... form a little bit of a defensive artillery wall early on. Now, this is gonna, if I fire with the battleship, I mean, it is gonna delay me. Okay, there's a rocket up there, though. I do need to make sure that I kill that rocket eventually, because if I let the rocket reach that southern base, it's gonna be a huge thorn in my side, and it will reach it this turn. I do have overdrive. It's kind of... Actually, with overdrive, I do reach one of the artillery with a tank. By the power of pencil and briefcase! Yeah, in the original, like, they were definitely supposed to be a fuel can and a tank shell, but a lot of people thought they were a pencil and a briefcase, because that's what they look like. Alright, now, yeah, like I said, I need to hammer this Neo tank. Well, I need to hammer both the Neo tanks. Okay, you're down to 2 HP. Can I... Yeah, that will probably finish you. I mean, I could send the medium tank in here. That will do a pretty sizable amount of damage, too. Yeah, Jess's theme sounds really good when she's using her power. Yeah, I think I need to focus down the Neo tank. Like I said, this is going to delay me reaching the lab map city. However, it doesn't really matter when exactly I get that. I'm going to get the lab map eventually regardless. There's plenty of time to get that lab map. Yeah, the tanks can't quite one-shot those anti-airs, though, but I'd probably rather take out the enemy tanks first than the anti-airs. Because anti-airs aren't really a problem for Jess, just due to how good her ground vehicles are. And the fact that her infantry are bad, so she usually doesn't really worry too much about her infantry getting attacked. And also, her own anti-air are pretty decent at taking out enemy anti-air. But yeah, I think I'll hit here. This is going to keep this choke point going a little bit. Now, the question is, whether I send some of these tanks down here. If I do send a tank down there, I probably have to send 2, because I don't want both of them to get hit by artillery. But I do want to be ready to greet that rocket with my own tanks once it's down here. Because, like I said, if I don't take out that rocket early, it is going to be a massive thorn in my side. It having a 30 to 60% firepower bonus, depending on when she has her power. And it covers a surprisingly wide area from that base. it's bad, and I definitely want to make sure it doesn't become that bad in the future. Also, she's going to be probably getting that base, but if I have anything to say about it, she's not going to be deploying very many good units out of that base. Here's the problem. I sort of want to hit that tank, but if I do that, I expose a lot of things, and I really can't afford to have my anti-airs rush in yet. Yes, even a Jess recon is not good against any, like, general tank tier vehicle. Don't think anything's gonna kill that medium tank. Those could be famous last words, but okay then. Now, my mechs can afford to, I think I can march in. So something to note is that, yes, Jess's APCs do still get a movement boost with her CO power. So yeah, in general, like, a lot about Jess's CO power is great. They're some of the best powers in the game. And again, as tempting as that is, I really need to conserve my anti-airs. And I'll leave you to, get in, a transport later. Okay, now I'm guessing... Yeah, she has Prime Tactics. This is going to be a bit of a weak Prime Tactics, because most of the terrain bonuses she'll get out of this is just planes. I mean, a 20% firepower bonus is nothing to sneeze at, but it's still nowhere near as bad as a, you know, 30 to 40 or 60, sometimes 80 with mountains firepower bonus. And yeah, it's funny to see all the battleships get buffed by that. Those subs aren't really going to be a problem unless you try and send battleships off of the island port. It really just shuts that down as a viable tactic, which does make the normal mode version of this map a lot easier. That tank, is that tank going to swing back and try and attack my 3 HP? I thought it would, okay then. That's actually kind of bad. Okay, you do you. And I'm guessing the rocket is still going to go onto the base. And that's going to give it a 60% defense bonus. And it's also covered by the artillery quite decently. So that's actually a kind of a problem. But even despite all that, I still probably will go for an attack here. Just because I really need to get some damage on this rocket. It'll probably die next turn. And I should be able to keep a decent amount of things away from it. I think it's going to be shooting back with 40%. Okay, that was way worse than I expected. Wow, okay. I have to watch out for this medium tank, which will move. Those things are probably going to retreat to these cities and start healing, and I don't want that, because that'll put more units between me and the battleships. Well, I suppose I can take out this anti-air. My artillery aren't really going to be doing much productive at the moment. Get you moving a little bit further forward. And, yeah, that rockets. Don't want to get in range of that. Also need to keep my artillery out of range of the enemy rocket. However, I do have a battleship here that I can afford to start moving up. There's a rocket over there, but I can get out of its range quite easily. Can't quite afford a second battleship just yet. Just trying to think whether I do that or not. It's going to kind of provoke the medium tank into moving forward, and I don't think I can actually get my rocket up there towards it yet. Yeah, my rocket's not quite in range if the medium tank gets lured down. Yeah, I think I will... This mech can't get shot by either indirect there. And if they go on the APC, then it means the tank is completely safe. Can't let either of my anti-air get hit by the tank, though. So I'm just going to be very careful with them at the moment. There's not a whole lot for them to shoot in the general area. I could get a lander from there yet, but like I said, I'll be getting that area eventually anyway. Okay, yeah, you are going for a sure kill there. And I believe that means the rocket can only shoot the... No, the rocket's moving away. Oh, okay, right. I was worried the tank would go on the base, which would definitely delay me getting it, but no. Speaking of delaying me getting it, though, I may actually have to delay getting that base. Okay, right now she's only building transport copters out of that airport, but that will definitely change. So the question is whether or not I Actually, yeah, I think I'll probably go for... I'm not going to start capturing just yet. I'm glad the APC's safe. But okay then, yep, Rocket is dead. That's great. That opens up a lot more avenues of movement. I don't like the fact that my tank here is a little wasted plugging away at this artillery, but I think I can go for some captures next turn, maybe. And, okay, battleship number 2. Already got 2 battleships in here, though once she starts getting air units, I'll need to be careful. Yeah, I do want to be careful about, like, I can't stall my artillery too much, because I need those to get on the battleships eventually, but my idea is... So this cannon doesn't cover as far a range as you might think, so my idea is that I lure you in, get the rocket close. I think this tank will actually head up here. Unless I do something a little sad. I've lost 2 units already. Here is the thing. This recon, I doubt this recon is going to be very useful for the rest of this map. So if this thing takes the bait, it will get hit by the rocket. And then I can also put an artillery here. Maybe I send one of my medium tanks around here. Maybe you can actually get repaired up a tiny bit. And just right now, the anti-airs are going to act as a bit of an escort. Rocket is there. Yeah, I pretty much do need to kill that rocket eventually, but what I like doing is getting 2 battleships on it at once, because that generally takes out the rocket in the span of a single turn, so that it doesn't end up getting repaired. Now, she's probably going to get either a bomber or a battlecopter out of that airport this turn. We'll see. Okay, those are running all the way back to those cities. That's probably fine. Okay, she did take the bait, yeah. I'm really sorry, Recon, but I kind of need you to get rid of, and I've actually face palms, but yeah, I kind of need you to make sure that I can get rid of that medium tank. Okay, yeah, she did get a bomber. So she's just getting regular infantry out of that base right now. I like how the way the capture flag looks in green. This is actually kind of the first time I'm seeing that. I don't like this tank being forced to stay back, though. The problem is, I can't really block off this base this turn. Of course, first things first. Actually, hang on. I have the battleship here. Might as well do this. Because I do need to destroy the lower cannon. The top cannon isn't really so bad, but the lower cannon definitely needs to go. I may be able to save the movement of my artillery and rockets if I actually take out this medium tank with my own tanks instead. Now, I have Turbocharge. Turbocharge, don't underestimate that in this map. Turbocharge can be very useful if you just... There are many times where you absolutely need 1 extra movement on your anti-air to reach a crucial air unit. So I think, okay, I'm going to get 2 tanks in here. I don't want her getting anything too dangerous out of this base. At the same time, though, that is going to divert some of her funds from the airport. Not really sure what that mech is hoping to accomplish, but maybe it'll just end up attacking a tank and dying. Okay, I just blocked myself off from getting the rocket onto this cannon, unfortunately. But I can move my artillery on up. Oh, right. My anti-air. Those can actually be useful against, foot soldiers. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, this one, not really just yet. But they might be able to help me, lock down that base soon. And I'm just going to put this here, hoping that the artillery fires on it. Leapfrog you forward to a slightly closer base to get repaired. Okay, so it's day 7 and I haven't damaged any battleship yet. That may be a problem, but the speed score is very lenient on this map. Like, very, very lenient. You can reach the last day and still get perfect speed. So that's not really what I'm worried about. I'm mostly worried about technique. And yes, that bomber is going to be a problem for technique. Yeah, she does tend to prefer to get air units out of that, as opposed to getting that powerful land units out of this base. So, okay then. That clears the way. I do need to get my anti-air ready because the bomber is coming. As long as I get one of the anti-air to intercept the bomber, it should be fine. The bomber likes to go for your battleships if it can. Yeah, I did want to sort of lock down that base, though. But okay, then I have this. I will have that soon. This tank is probably fine to send back into the fray. 22,000, not quite enough for something else. You know what? Maybe now I should go for the lander. Because it is going to give me more income getting that island, and now I'm going to double team this rocket. Because the top artillery and the top rocket, I know from experience this mission can be won without destroying either of them. But this bottom rocket pretty much does need to go. It's going to lock you down way too hard. Okay, here is the slight plan. Which is... I need to creep this rocket 1 up. But I think that's going to get shot by the cannon, even if I put some artillery in range of said cannon. So I can probably now afford to put some artillery in range of said cannon. And then I think this is a slight gamble. Because the anti-air range, I think it's going to choose to shoot at the medium tank instead of at any of the anti-air. But we'll see what happens. Okay, where's that bomber going? Yeah, those other land units that Lash has, they're going to come back soon. But okay, then let's see where... Okay, good. It hit the medium tank. Yeah, right now my medium tanks aren't actually hugely useful because the main threats that Lash is going to send are air-based. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling you might do that. Goes down to 8 HP. Not, you know, not ideal, but also not horrible. Interesting. Okay. And she's moving down with those. And yeah, she's just getting infantry out of that base. I guess because, like, the AI does have this kind of infantry quota. So, okay then. I actually need to kill that cannon this turn if I am to send the anti-air onto the bomber. However, I might be able to... Let me see. 48%. 49%. I think that's enough. Just trying to think whether I go for, like, turbocharge yet or not. Because I am getting somewhat close to possibly having overdrive. And, well, I can finally get rid of you, and now I can capture stuff in here unopposed. Also, I have a base there. If I had Neo-Tanks, I could actually be, if I had Neo-Tanks unlocked, I could potentially use them. So, okay, then, the idea here is I go this, takes you down. Both of these on that guy, you block the base. In fact, I probably should have put you in the transport and then send the transport up there, but oh well, hindsight, I can probably do that later. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I do this, I get this base. And now, yes, the question is, okay. 48%. Oh, 51, not quite enough. However, I have this medium tank. So that's dead. And now, aha, okay, I can get on that bomber. And I am almost wondering. Okay, this seems weird, but hear me out for a second. I think this will make the anti-air actually... Okay, hang on a minute. So I'm doing 82%. My power gives me a plus 20. I'm trying to think whether the power will make me outright kill that bomber, because even a slightly weakened bomber will be able to damage my battleships a little bit. This seems like a weird use of turbocharge, but I'm gonna go for it.
I always give 100%.
I like the way that the turbocharged graphic looks too. One thing that I will say as well, I actually prefer the normal power activations to the superpower ones, just because with the normal power, okay, yeah, that's almost certainly a one-shot, because with the normal power, you at least get to see the map. I feel like they just make for better thumbnails, really, for these videos. The fact that it's just a purely flat color for the superpower, and yet that was a kill, good. Bomber is dead. And she has prime tactics, but it's not like it's going to really matter all that much. I know I said that last time, but actually, speaking of things that matter, you need to die. So, okay, then we do have an anti-air that is in range of a cannon right now. And we also have artillery that I don't really want getting hit by both of those things. And also we have a battlecopter. I don't really want the artillery getting hit by the battlecopter either. The thing is, I actually kind of want to keep my artillery here. And just going for infantry for now. I mean, no reason not to take a shot at one of the battleships. Because Lash has her power anyway. Though I probably should save taking a few shots for later, because that way I get more power out of destroying them. But as long as I have some anti-air up there, I think I can probably afford to get this battleship a little closer. Yeah, now that battleship covers most of the enemy ones. And I can't build anything else. Yeah, the thing with Lash and Prime Tactics is you kind of want to position your unit so that like, they can't get attacked from terrain much. Is that going to... Okay, no, it is going on the medium tank.
You're so silly.
Just thinking whether or not that tank is going to attack my anti-air. I'm probably okay with it because it's going to be on a bridge, so it'll be no defense. And the battlecopter will probably kill my medium... Okay, either one, like anything here is probably going to kill the medium tank. I don't even know why she bothers with transport cops on this map. There's really nothing she can practically capture except the lab island, I suppose. Okay, so one of you shot that, okay. Now, is the tank going to go for the anti-air, or is it going to... Yeah, I went for the artillery, I kind of thought so. And now, as long as my anti... See, this copter is totally zoned out. It doesn't even want to move in. Because if it does, then it's going to get killed by the anti-air. Yeah, that transport copter just retreated. Okay, she does have a lot of battlecopters right now. I love the start of Jess's theme. Because unlike a lot of the other CO themes in these games, they're usually designed to have a very, like, impactful first few notes. Like, Adder is the prime example, because he has the dun of, like, the start of his theme. Again, like, very impactful first few notes of their theme. But whereas with Jess, the song slowly builds up. It starts out very sort of subdued, and then it gradually builds up to a crescendo. And I've always felt like Jess's theme just evokes that feeling of engines revving up. And just getting, the tanks just warming up their engines, and then the moment hits where they're ready to move out, and then they just drive like they just hit the road. It's just, that is what Jess's theme is to me, and that's a really great job of evoking that kind of thing. Okay, since there's a tank there and there are some artillery, just gotta be careful exactly where I put my artillery, but I think I can safely afford to have some artillery go, like, around here, and, like, here, because this tank's gonna be the one getting shot. Actually, no, the anti-air will get shot, I just realized, because anti-air is slightly more expensive than tanks are, so I need to move this anti-air away, but not so far away that it gets shot by the rockets, which in this case means simply going here. But still, the fact that I have an anti-air on these bridges already means that, yeah, Lash is kind of shut down when it comes to getting air units down there. Okay, that is cannon, that is, well, not me in cannon range, but me in range of the cannon, which is great. And, another battleship. Because that's probably going to serve me much better than getting land units right now. I probably will want some more anti-air as an insurance. And yeah, I'm slowly creeping this thing up the side, just so I avoid aggroing the subs. I don't think they're going to aggro the subs, but just in case. Now, one thing is you don't want the copters to go over the sea, because then your anti-air won't be able to actually hit them. But I think, yeah, now I can continue plugging away at the battleships. I like to spread my damage around instead of hitting just one individually, because that way she ends up joining them later. That infantry is purely for technique points. So, okay then, yeah, there's quite a lot of those battlecopters, and eventually they might go into places that are covered by the artillery and rockets, which is a little unfortunate, like that. It is kind of nice that she's smart enough to know where not to put her copters. And it helps me too, but alright, okay. So, can you guys go into range of the... No, because if you attack those battleships, then you get shot by my anti-air, which is good. They are zoning out my artillery a little, which is why I may need more, oh, and my rocket's in range of one of the battleships too, but, yeah. I want to go for this far corner battleship now, just because this one is often, because it's so close to the enemy artillery, oftentimes this one's a little hard to finish off, in the end. Especially if the AI decides to join units into it, so I like to keep that one damaged early. And, okay, again, we have this cannon up here. I don't think I'll be able to deal with the cannon yet. We get a good hit there. Here's the problem. I want my artillery to go in, but if they do, then there's very high odds that my anti-air will be able to snipe them. I mean, I could actually start... I mean, she's not at much risk of getting her power yet, so I think I can actually go for this. Because if I get rid of this rocket, I said that I didn't need to, but if I do, it is going to open up my avenues of movement quite a bit. These copters are making it a little hard for my artillery to get in, though, and I definitely need the artillery in if I want to finish this mission within the time limit. I mean, I do have 3 battleships. And, aha, you can actually reach now. Yeah, your income is pretty ridiculous in this map. You don't need to worry too much about money. She didn't build anything out of that airport. Yeah, I wonder if it might be good to actually try and pincer strike this cannon right now. Oh, I just ran into range of that artillery. Well, that was dumb. Yeah, you've always got to keep an eye on ranges like that. However, oh, I do know for a fact this spot is safe, so I can put another anti-air in there. Oh, even if I move this artillery away, I don't think the copter gets to attack my rocket, which is cool. Because the cannon's in the way. Just trying to think, if I put, like, 1 artillery here, I think only 1 copter can attack it this turn. Yeah, only 1 copter would be able to attack it. However, it is the only thing in range of that cannon right now, so I probably should just put something here just to make sure that the cannon is distracted. If I put an artillery there, 2 copters would be able to attack it, so let's not do that just yet. Okay, copters, where are you going? Yep, that tank was a distraction, and he served his purpose. This tank was not meant to be a distraction, I'm so sorry. Jess facepalming there is totally justified, and alright, you went there, that's not... I mean, it's actually not, like, the best thing in the world, but it's not the worst either. My anti-air are a little far away, but okay, right. That one takes a big hit. Okay, I mean, at least the copters are away from the center. They're away from my anti-airs too, which is unfortunate. She has 22,000 though. Is she gonna get a bomber? Yeah, I had a feeling. Okay. Yeah, about... Oh, there's a copter right there. Okay, I was thinking, can this thing reach with the, So, like, how I failed technique last time was that I let the copters kind of run rampant behind my lines a little bit too much. But actually, this is kind of a problem, because I can't move this anti-air anywhere that does not result in it getting hit by the rocket. If I move it to the city, I mean, its defense is going to essentially... Actually, wait, hang on a minute. I can move the artillery right there, and then I can... If I do this, though, I need to... Well, I mean, this cannon is going to die soon anyway. So, okay, that's the other cannon down. Gotta remember, though, that does open the way for more of Lash's air units to get in. Okay, then, that's one copter down. Can't quite build anything out of that just yet. But I can get this artillery here, which is a decent place for it. And let's continue spreading damage on these battleships, once again going for the far ones. It is sort of, hitting these battleships is actually a good sort of showing of how the luck mechanic works, because, you'll notice that some of them go, like, exactly down to this much, some of them have, like, half of an HP, in between, that and the next unit of HP. And now, battleship number 3. Yeah, I've well and truly got, an armada going. I just want to see if I can somehow protect this tank. Actually, no, that thing will still be able to reach it from behind. Can't quite have every angle of it covered. However, only one can attack my rocket, though it might still one-shot it. And now, battleship number 4! This is also why your anti-airs are really good, because you can't really get this many battleships out if your anti-air end up damaged and aren't able to ward off air units. The battleships really do not like Lash getting air units on them. In an earlier attempt at this, I had a bomber slip past and start attacking my battleships, and that was not a good time for anyone. Except Lash, obviously. No, she went for the medium tank. Right. That meant nothing died to that turn. Question is, though, she does get the bomber in. It's up there now. It's advancing a little cautiously. She can't even afford another, unfortunately, overdrive. Like, there's no amount of overdrive is getting me to that bomber because it's over the ocean. And I think this anti-air actually has to kill this rocket. Could even get a second one out of here, which I will do. This is actually kind of unfortunate, though, because if this bomber bombs my anti-air, this, my other anti-air, I don't think we'll be able to reach it. And I don't like, I don't want to have to end up building a cruiser. That's always, a terrible use of funds, because cruisers just generally suck. Okay, I do only have 5 days left. So I probably need to start making a move on with these battleships, as opposed to just reducing them all to like 6 HP. And yeah, you hopefully run to live another day. Now we're quickly approaching the point where she starts joining her battleships. So now it's going to be a question of what joins does she end up doing. Because when they start going below 6 HP, that's usually when she joins them. Oh, and also, this was also one of the lab maps, though. I pretty much instantly figured the lab map was here.
Roger.
Because, like, why wouldn't they hide the lab here? And yeah, you want to get the Green Earth lab mission, because not only is Jess ridiculous with Neotanks, but Eagle can make them move twice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just splice the lab map in from other footage there, because you only get to see that animation once. You only get to see that dialogue once. I don't need to worry about my, my lander ever dying from running out of fuel, because, Jess can just, yeah, Jess just refuels everything. That's the cool thing about her power. It resupplies everything, even air and naval units.
Oh, so annoying.
I think the only real benefit from this is going to be 10% defense, because she's got a lot of air units. It's kind of why some people like to say that Lash has bad air units, because they don't benefit from terrain. Her air units are still good, though. It's just that, like, they're just average. And average air units are still amazing. Like, heck, like, as I said in Jess's bio, even 10% weaker air units are still quite good. The only time they're, like, actually kind of bad is with Drake, when, I think with my power I still kill that, with the other anti-air. Like, with Drake, when they're just so weak, when they're minus 30%. Like, that's when you start seeing problems. Okay, she did start joining a few of them. One of her battleships is back up to full now. Only 4 days to go to get rid of all of those, but if I go overdrive right now...
I won't lose to you.
Once this bomber ends up dying... I still love how there's a bit of the Green Earth theme there.
Overdrive!
My artillery that are on those battleships are basically unopposed. Oh, I can just barely reach, thank you. And also, it's a guaranteed one-shot, even with Lash's 10% defense bonus. Nice. She is almost certainly not going to get another one of those. And now this copter is dead, and I think that clears out all of her air units that are a present threat to me. Of course, she does have another copter incoming, but it's probably going to be a little too late by the time it gets here, because I have, like, anti-air right there. And also, I have 4 battleships. Let's see. You know what? I think I'll actually try and go for a full-on kill here. When they're on this low health, you don't really want to let them join, because that just creates more problems. And now, finally, Jess is making good on her promise to bathe those battleships in artillery fire, though, yeah, again, as I promised, definitely going for that northern one, which can be a little difficult to damage otherwise. Also, I probably want to prioritize this one, because it's out of range of my artillery. If you get good luck rolls, you can actually one-shot the 6 HP ones. Not when she's using her power, though, obviously. So even though it looks like a lot of these battleships are not dead, she is going to be forced to join a lot of them soon. Another great thing about Jess's power is it gets her vehicles that were just built to the front line much faster. And, I mean, maybe an extra artillery may help. The kind of interesting thing is, like, this 1 HP rocket is still potentially very much a threat to her stuff. I don't really need to do this, but it's going to be fun to try. And I can try and get this port, but like I said earlier, I'm probably not going to need it. And I can just build another lander, because why not, just for the technique rating. Yeah, so this is going a lot smoother than my first attempt at this did. The general idea is you need to keep your anti-airs alive, because once you reach the battleships, I like to think this sort of square of bridges is like a giant shipyard, but once you reach there, the main threat to your forces are air units that she spams out of that airport, and if you lose your anti-air early, then you will not be able to deal with any of those. Okay, let's see. Just chip this one slightly. Every little bit helps. Speaking of every little bit helps, how much do you do? Oh, it's only 6%, but again, every little bit helps. Yeah, I think the battleships are potentially a one-shot on that 5 HP one. Yeah, see, here's another example of one of Jess's weaker units still being quite powerful. Because even a battleship with 10% less firepower is still a battleship, and it's kind of sad that, like, this is one of the few maps where Navy is actually good, and, like, this is actually a map Drake would be quite good at, but, yeah, just because you have a lot of potential income. So, okay then, yeah, this is going pretty smoothly right now. Because, again, this is sometimes a one-shot, I think, if you're lucky. Yeah, just barely not, but it's fine. These things will probably join, and that's definitely in range of, like, everything. Can't quite get to the battlecopter. But I think the infantry is fine for one turn. So if I just get... I mean, I could just attack that artillery because lol, but I'm going to just make sure that if that battlecopter does go for the infantry, then it'll live to regret it. And this rocket is going to also live, and maybe... If the rocket fires the final shot that ends this map, that would be amazing. Yeah, I don't even think I'll need this artillery. And just missile, because lol. I should also be finishing this up much faster than I did in my first attempt too, which is good. Sometimes, yeah, experience does get you a cleaner run of things. I still won on my first attempt of this, but I would much prefer to go to, yeah, upload something that looks like this. This is much cleaner. Okay, they didn't join, they just moved. But that's not really going to help them because they're still in range of quite a few things. In fact, okay, potentially... yeah, I think I can actually end it with that 1 HP rocket. And yeah, I want to make good on Jess's promise to use artillery fire here. The battleships were great, but Jess's main strong suit is artillery. You valiantly acted as bait so that I could get one more copter taken down before this was over. This thing's over the ocean, so I can't kill it. And, you know what, cruiser? Because I can afford to waste my money now. And let's hopefully end this with a 1 HP rocket. Come on, you can do enough damage. Hey, there we go, nice.
Commander!
Beautiful work. Copy.
Jess knows how to not risk technique score.
Yes, ma'am.
That's enough.
This is an established aspect of Jess that you'll be seeing in her second mission.
Yep.
This reminds me as well, there is a level in Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex also called Sinking Feeling that involves sinking battleships.
Commander Lash! Okay.
The sad thing is, though, this is actually the last time we fight Lash, so she's gonna have to wait until Jewel Strike to release this pent-up anger.
This should make things a little easier for us.
And easier for my giant pencil. Hey, there we go, perfect score. This is actually a mission that, as a kid, I remember struggling with for a long time, but then I finally beat it. In fact, I specifically remember where I was in my life when I beat this mission for the first time. I was like at a local town outside a fast food place. But I find this mission actually quite fun now, as you can tell from the fact that I've beaten it twice. So, with that, we've introduced Jess, we've fought Lash for the last time, and we've sunk a lot of battleships. I'll see you next time when we sink some more naval units with Eagle as we take on the Sea Fortress.